if you guys couldn't tell by the thumbnail and title, I want to go over my top 5 assault rifles today, because if you guys didn't already see, not too long ago I went over my top 5 SMG loadouts. So I wanted to go through again and kind of just update my loadouts and tell you guys exactly what you need to be running, because if you guys aren't always watching the videos or aren't always in the streams, you guys won't hear me say this meta right now is currently super top heavy. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly what you need to be running, and like I said, I want to go through and update my AR loadouts. But before I hop into any of that, I want to give a huge shout out to Ray, Lewis, and Skelly for having my post notifications on. If you guys want a chance to get in my next video, make sure you go down below, hit the big red subscribe button with all my notifications on, as well as leaving a like and a comment saying noties and watch the full video through. Like I said, I want to go through and update all of them. So without further ado, let's hop directly into loading number 1. Of course, as you can tell behind me, starting at loading number 1, it's still the NZ41. They tried to nerf this thing like 3 or 4 times, but it's still extremely dominant. So going through the loadout, of course, starting at attachment number 1 is still that MX silencer, giving you vertical and horizontal recoil control, damage range, and sound suppression overall, helping the NZ41 hit way harder and still stay as an absolute laser beam. With, of course, the Orb Weaver 360 barrel, which a lot of people tell me the burst is better, but the burst was better. The 360, in my opinion, is way better now after all the nerfs and everything. This gives you more accuracy, making you more controllable, reducing the scope sway and gun bob, and giving you that bolt velocity, which is very huge for the NZ41, getting you closer to hit scan. And then, of course, the NZ41 is one of those guns that has close to no recoil, and if it does, it's very controllable. You know what I'm saying? There is a little bounciness to it, but overall, like I said, it's very easy to use. So I tossed in the SVT40 3-6x scope because it's an absolute beam on the 3 zoom or the 6 zoom. Mixing that with the Orb Weaver E-Pack, giving you everything you need with recoil control, recoil recovery, accuracy, and flinch resistance, making it to where you're an absolute beam in every possible scenario, and it's just making it more controllable. Of course, also going with the M1341 hand stop, just giving you even more vertical and horizontal recoil control, making it to where this thing, if it does bounce whatsoever, you just pull it right back into place. Of course, mixing that with the 50 mag, giving you recoil control and accuracy again, which I feel like every attachment gives you. Of course, fire rate, letting you shred through people, movement speed, which is also huge because you're not going to be feeling like an LMG all sluggish around the map, and of course that mag size, which in my opinion is absolutely essential. I personally love the 50 mag way more than the 40 mag. And then of course lengthen, doing exactly what the barrel does, giving you even more bolt velocity, again getting you closer to hit scan. And then of course you have the hatched grip for your rear grip, giving you that vertical and horizontal recoil control, again just like all the other attachments, making it to where you're an absolute beam in every possible scenario, even if someone else is beaming you. With brace for your perk 1 and fully loaded for your perk 2. But overall, that is my NZ41 build for Warzone Season 4, and of course it's still in that number 1 spot, which I absolutely hate, but I'm telling you guys, this thing is unmatched. If you guys could beam with it, I mean everybody could beam with it. It makes it so easy to use, even absolute bums can use it. So go through, give the whole build a try, attempt the highest kill game you guys get with this thing, and that's my loading number 1. So let's hop directly into loading number 2. Of course, loading number 2 is the Vanguard all reliable, absolutely no recoil STG44. Of course, hopping directly in the build, just like the NZ41, you have that MX silencer, which is probably my suppressor on every single Vanguard primary. Of course, giving you that sound suppression with your vertical and horizontal recoil control and that damage range, the exact same pros and cons as the NZ41, making you hit harder and making you more of a beam. With the 760-05B barrel, making you more highly accurate and controllable, reducing the scope sway and gun bob, and of course giving you that bolt velocity and damage range, so you're hitting harder, you're closer to hit scan, and you're way more accurate. Just such an absolute locked in laser beam at all times across the map. And then of course this is another gun that has close to absolutely no recoil whatsoever. It's very controllable and has really no bounciness to it whatsoever. So of course I tossed in the 3-6x scope, which is very clean and very easy to use. But I always tell you guys the scopes are personal preference. With the VDD34S stock, giving you accuracy, flinch resistance, recoil control, and aiming stability, making you more accurate and controllable in every possible way. With the M1341 hand stop again as well, giving you that vertical and horizontal recoil control, again mixing with the barrel and everything, making it to where this thing really does not bounce at all. And then you have the 50 Garinko mag as well, giving you that recoil control and actually making you more of a beam, ADS speed making you more snappy, and of course that fire rate letting you shred through people. With that length and ammo type also giving you bolt velocity, getting closer to hit scan, and the polymer grip giving you flinch resistance and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, making it to where if someone's beaming you in any possible scenario, you are staying locked in and not flying to the moon. With acrobatic for your perk 1, making you even faster, and fully loaded for your perk 2, so you spawn in with that full 210. But of course, for my loading number 2, this is my STG build. It's absolutely disgusting, and honestly, it's hitting harder recently than I even expected it to. It's still disgusting, so go through, give the whole build a try. It's some of the highest kill game you guys get with this one. Of course, that's my loading number 2. Up directly into loading number 3. My loading number 3 is something that wasn't on my previous top 5 list for my assault rifles. It's the bar assault rifle. It's absolutely disgusting. So hopping directly in the build, of course, the same old, you have the MX silencer with the exact same pros and cons as the NZ41 and STG, but the bar is actually one of the assault rifles that if you want to, you can also run recoil booster, but I mean, that's all preference. I personally prefer the MX silencer. Mixing that with the CGC 30-inch XL barrel, giving you recoil control and actually bolt velocity, reducing the scope sway and gun bob and that flinch resistance, making you more of a beam and useful again in every possible situation and scenario. And then this is actually one of the assault rifles I prefer, the G16, because I just don't really love the 3-6 and how it feels for the bar. But the G16 is very clean, especially with the dot reticle, but I always tell you guys the scopes are always personal preference. With the Chariot WR stock, giving you again everything you need with that accuracy, flinch resistance, recoil control, and aiming stability. Of course, it does slow you down a little bit, which absolutely sucks because the bar almost feels like an LMG with the slow mobility. It's very sluggish and gross, but there is a few attachments that we will use to speed it up a little bit. But this makes you way more of a beam again in every possible way, especially when you're mixing that with the M1941 hand stop, giving you even more recoil control with the vertical and horizontal recoil control, making it to where this thing is bouncy, but it's very controllable. And then of course you have the Clauser 40 mag, giving you recoil control and actually again movement speed, which is huge because I just told you guys this thing feels like an LMG. The ADS speed making it more snappy, which again is huge. And of course that fire rate letting you shred through people. And of course for the third gun to arrive, that length and ammo type, giving you bolt velocity, getting closer to hit scan. And like I was just telling you guys, the LMG feel of this gun is disgusting. I need to be faster than that, so I tossed in the leather grip, giving me the ADS speed mainly, just making it more snappy, and of course making it more smooth around the map, with hard scope for your perk 1 and fully loaded for your perk 2. But overall, that is my loading number 3. This bar assault rifle is actually very underrated. I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. It's pretty slept on and it hits incredibly hard. So go through, give the whole build a try. It's some of the highest kill game you guys get with the bar, but of course that's my loading number 3, so let's hop directly into number 4. Loading number 4, one of the coolest variants and guns in the game, of course, is the Cold War XM4. It's absolutely disgusting. Hopping directly in the build, we only have 5 attachments on this one. Is the agency suppressor. It's like the Cold War version of the MX silencer in my opinion. It's giving you that sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bolt velocity, and damage range, overall coming together to make you more of a beam, getting closer to hit scan, and of course making you hit way harder. The agency is absolutely essential to the build, and pretty much doing the exact same thing as the agency. You have the 13.5-inch task force barrel, giving you bolt velocity, also giving you horizontal and vertical recoil control, and of course that damage range coming together, making you an absolute beam and giving you that damage range, making you hit harder. Like I said, pretty much doing exactly what the agency is. And then of course you have the Astra Arms 3x, which in my opinion is the cleanest scope from Cold War. It's a perfect little, not zoomed in, not zoomed out too far, a little circle. It's very easy and very clean, but I always tell you guys the optics are personal preference. And then of course the XM4 does have some bounciness to it. You got to control it, you got to pull it back down, so I toss in the Field Agent 4 grip, again giving that vertical and horizontal recoil control, mixing very well with the barrel and agency. And then for this build, I have these Tanag 60 round mag on, but you guys could really use whatever you want. The 45 mag makes you feel a whole lot faster on the map, mobility wise and ADS wise, but like I always tell you guys, preference comes through for the build, so 45 or 60, either or. But of course that is my loading number 4. I'm telling you guys, this XM4, not only being the coolest looking gun in the game, is also disgusting. So go through, give the whole build a try. Some of the highest kill game you guys get with the XM4. That's my loading number 4, so let's hop directly into loading number 5. For the last loadie on the list, we have the Cooper Carbide. If you guys don't know, if you guys aren't in the streams, I absolutely love the Cooper. It's an easy to use gun. It's very controllable, very easy. So hopping directly in the build, of course, it's a Vanguard assault rifle, so I have the MX silencer with the exact same pros and cons as the STG, NZ, and bar. And then you're mixing that with the 22-inch Cooper custom barrel, making it more highly accurate and controllable, increasing that fire rate, which is incredible because the Cooper already has such a fast fire rate, reducing the scope sway and gun bob, and giving you that damage range, making you hit harder, which again is very essential because the Cooper isn't super high on damage. One thing about the Cooper though, like I told you guys, it's very easy to use because it has literally no recoil whatsoever. It's very, very, very controllable. So I toss in the 3 to 6x scope again because it's an absolute beam on the 3 zoom or the 6 zoom. With the Cooper 45 RS stock, giving you that initial firing recoil, ADS speed, and recoil recovery, making you more snappy and way more accurate across the map. And then of course for the 4th Vanguard AR in a row, you have the M1941 hand stop. I mean, it's pretty much essential on these builds. I absolutely love tossing in even more vertical and horizontal recoil control, just making you a beam. With the 9mm 60 round drum mag, giving you everything you need with fire rate again, which is incredible. Recoil control actually making you more of a beam. ADS speed and mag size, which again is very essential because I already told you guys the Cooper's fire rate is very fast, so you definitely need the 60 bullets. And then again, the same attachment for the 4th time is lengthened with that bolt velocity getting closer to hit scan, and the hatch grip making this thing so much more of a beam with the flinch resistance and the vertical and horizontal recoil control, making it to where this thing doesn't move at all in every possible situation, with tight grip for your perk 1 and fully loaded for your perk 2. Like I told you guys, this is my Cooper build. I absolutely love this thing in this current meta. It's very usable. It's very, you know, in the meta too. So go through, give the whole build a try. Some of the highest kill games you guys get with the Cooper. That's my loaded number 5, but I do have one honorable mention. For my honorable mention of the top 5 list, we have the M13. I'm not personally a huge fan of the M13, but so many people gassed it up to me. Even Jay God himself gassed it up and said it's a part of the meta. So definitely hopping directly in the build. Of course, from MW guns, the agency and the MX silencer is the monolithic suppressor. This thing is essential to the build, giving you that sound suppression and damage range overall coming together and just making you hit harder. Mixing that with the Tempest marksman barrel, giving you even more damage range, making you hit hit harder, which is very good for the M13 because it's kind of weak, and also that bullet velocity and recoil control, which is a big reason why this thing is an absolute beam. And in my opinion, I love the hollow sight. I don't really love the VOK, especially now it's very bulky compared to the Vanguard and Cold War scopes. Back when we only had MW, the VOK was clean, but not anymore. So I love the hollow sight with the blue dot reticle, but I always tell you guys the scopes are personal preference. And then this thing is already such a beam, so you don't even really need this, but I toss in the Commando foregrip, giving you that recoil stabilization and aiming stability. Overall, just making it more of a beam in little scenarios, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, this thing is such a beam, you might not even need this. And then of course you have the 60 round mag, but I told you guys, just like the XM4, if you guys want to be a little bit quicker, I would toss in the 50 round mag, but this gun low-key needs the 60 bullets because like I said, it's a little bit on the weaker side and it has a fast fire rate. But overall, that is the M13 build for my honorable mention list. I'm telling you guys, this thing has been getting hyped up everywhere I look, so definitely go through, give this build a try as well. That completely rounds off my top 5 list in the honorable mentions. So go through, give every single loadie a try, tell me if they help you guys at all, and if they do, go down below and hit that big red subscribe button. That's it for the video.